Hello, Rania aka Mac, and welcome. So with 3.1 finally out of the door and numerous hotfix patches, I think we're up to 3.1.2e at the time of filming this. These are mostly crash testing on the PTU to find where the memory leaks are and the server crashing is happening. But because that's all sorted now, our attention is now fixated on 3.2. So kicking off with characters, the Legacy Light Armor tasks are at 2 out of 10, the Medium Armor is at 3 out of 10, and the Heavy is at 3 also. The Light Outlaw is at 2 out of 10, and the Medium Outlaw is at 3 out of 10, and the same for the Heavy Outlaw. These were actually all scheduled last week, so it's nice to see them in production now. The Portalisar Clothing is at 3 out of 10 also. For gameplay, the group systems is now at 6 out of 41. It was last week at 4 out of 28, so they've obviously completed 2 new tasks, but they've added quite a significantly large amount of new tasks. Mining on planetary bodies is now at 5 out of 23, so they've added 6 new tasks and there's been no movement on completing any. For quantum travel improvements, they're at 1 out of 2 tasks. The economy polish is at 1 out of 4 tasks. The service beacon improvements is 1 out of 11. Quantum linking is 0 out of 7. Item 2.0 ship systems and weapons, this is actually power allocation, it's specified as, is 1 out of 14. For the item kiosk shopping, that's at 1 out of 10. Now I'm hoping this is buying components and weapons, maybe ships. They've not specified it. I would have thought they would say ship purchasing if it was that though. These were all scheduled again last week, so I'm very happy that they've moved into production also. Also the PMA and the VMA, so the Personal Manager app and Vehicle Manager app improvements, that is at 1 out of 7. And the manned turrets on vehicles, ship persistence improvements, and service beacon escorting are all scheduled. So on to AI for 3.2. The flight AI was last week, it was scheduled. They've now started on it. It's 1 out of 7 tasks complete, but the FPS combat AI is still scheduled. For ships and vehicles, the Mustang Beta, Delta, and Gamma are all scheduled still. The Mustang Alpha is at 8 out of 36, so they've completed 1 task there on the Alpha. The 600i, the Origin 600i, which we saw in ATV last Thursday, is at 18 out of 59. They have completed 2 more tasks. It is a very nice looking ship. The Anvil Hurricane, the Aegis Eclipse, and the Vandal Blade has had no change. And finally for ships, the Avenger rework, which also we saw in ATV, very excited for that one, is they've added a task and they've completed a task. It's now at 1 out of 16 tasks. So weapons and items, the Associated Science and Development Distortion Repeater is now at 2 out of 21 tasks. They've removed a task there. I think they've removed a task from each weapon, so I won't keep saying that. The Claws and Werner Democo is at 7 out of 32 tasks, so they have completed 1 there. The Kastak Scalpel Sniper Rifle is at 5 out of 26, so they've completed 3 tasks on that one. And the Gemini F55 is at 10 out of 30 tasks, so there's none been completed, unfortunately. So finally, for 3.2, the Core Tech Network Bind Culling and General Performance improvements, there's no change to the tasks completed, but they have added 4 tasks in the general performance. So you can see there's lots of movement in 3.2. We will move on to 3.3 and 3.4 because there's been some additions and things moved around. So for 3.3, in characters, the Virgil True Death Pro armor, which is commonly used by advocacy agencies, and the Hurston Clothing Collection are now both scheduled. It looks like the RSI Odyssey flight suit rework, which was removed from 3.2, is now added to the 3.3 patch. That's also scheduled. In terms of locations, the Hurston Planet is at 35 out of 47. Lorville Landing Zone, which is the main landing zone in Hurston, is at 6 out of 16. The rest stops small, so the small rest stops to take over Port Olisar. This is what they added last week. This is at 3 out of 17 complete, and then Hurston's Moons are still scheduled. For gameplay, the Repair Bot, Repair using ships, Refuel Mechanic, the first iteration I expect, Service Beacon Refuel, Request Repair, Salvage Scanning, Extraction, Processing and Selling, Manual Repair, Buying and Selling of Fuel, and Fuel Transport. They're all scheduled to be worked on in 3.3. So it does look like 3.3 holds a lot of support mechanics for helping other ships out. So there you go. For AI, the Defense Combat to allow AI ships to defend from borders and location security are both scheduled. In terms of ships and vehicles, the Tumbrel Cyclone turret and AA variants are both scheduled, with the Racer variant at 1 out of 11 and the Recon variant at 0 out of 11. The Constellation Phoenix is at 5 out of 40 tasks, and the Aegis Hammerhead is at 5 out of 18. For weapons and items, both the Joker Sucker Punch Ship Cannon and the Kastak Arms Kana FPS weapon are scheduled. And finally for Cortec, the Environmental Blending Shader, which is for smoother blending of dirt, ice and sand onto objects, object container streaming, network entity streaming, which assists object container streaming, FOIP integration, cloud tech and general performance improvements are all scheduled, but this gives us a good indication as to what to expect in 3.3 for Cortec. Lots of that stuff will obviously help with performance, especially the object container streaming. So there's also some updates to 3.4 now. Just assume these are all scheduled because they are. So they've added to AI the ability for AI to land on planets and deploy reinforcements. They're working on the Kastak Arms Ravager 212 dual barrel shotgun, Bering Sawbuck repeater revision, Gemini S721 assault rifle, and the Gallatin Tactical GT870 Tarantula revision. They're all being scheduled for weapons and items. And then finally in Cortec, they've got procedural city rendering performance, improving space scenery aesthetics, parallel network jobs, which increases the network multi-threading, and server meshing, which connects multiple servers to the same session, giving an expanded player count. Oh, and also lobby refactoring, which assists the server meshing. So anyway, there's quite a long update today. It looks like they're still swapping things around from patch to patch. It may be a little more settled now, but obviously with each patch release, they will reassess and decide what needs to be moved, what we vote for, and focus their attention in different areas. Anyway, that's it for this week. Remember, tomorrow is Star Citizen Sunday, which keeps you all up to date with the world of Star Citizen from the past week. Big thank you to my patrons who help me make videos like this. The link is below if you do want to help me out. Be sure to hit that subscribe and like button. Follow me on Twitch, Twitter and Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time.